On item B, Mr Chair, the petition for council to rename Scott Street Park in Norman Park in memory of Brentyn Rollo Rollason. Mr Chair, I was approached by close friends of Rollo to petition council to rename a park in close proximity to Norman Creek in memory of Rollo following his passing in April 2019. I was so pleased to see the overwhelming support of over 1,550 residents from across the city on this petition. Rollo was a local musician, concert promoter, and employee of Brisbane City Council. Having played in punk bands since the early 80s, Rollo formed Blowhard in 1989 while living in the inner southeastern suburbs close to this park. Blowhard toured frequently along Australia's east coast and became the third ever Brisbane punk band to play overseas with a 1996 tour of Japan and Europe. Rollo's talent as a concert promoter also gave many iconic Brisbane acts their start. He released more than 30 albums of up-and-coming Brisbane artists, a vital outlet for local talent including Custard, Powderfinger and Regurgitator. Festival organiser Carolyn Bedford spoke for many when she recalled Rollo's legacy. She said, "He was larger than life and had the biggest heart of anyone I ever met. He was always fun and over the top, the life of the party and a driving force behind the Brisbane music scene for decades." He also, Rollo himself, summed up his contribution. He once told writer Daniel Johnson, "I mightn't have made $1 million doing it, but I had a good time." Rollo, as I said, was employed in Council's civil works area for over 16 years until he passed in April last year. He proudly helped build a better Brisbane. This park naming would reflect his commitment to our city and location reflects his passion for the wildlife of the inner Southside Creeks and the countless boat cruise concerts Rollo and Blowhard played on the nearby Brisbane River for over 30 years. His close friend, Ben Jones, sent me a short statement that I wanted to read into the record as well. He had this to say, Mr Chair, "The naming of Rollo Park will mean different things to different people, but to all of us who are lucky enough to have Rollo in our lives, it will mean recognition. For his family, it will mean recognition of the caring and kind son, husband, father and uncle that Rollo was to them. For his bandmates and for those who were lucky enough to perform at concerts promoted or organised by Rollo, it will mean recognition of the person who made things happen and started a great many local musicians on the path to future success. And to anyone who ever enjoyed live punk or alternate music in Brisbane, it will be recognition of the unending efforts of a man who created and drove the scene for 30 years. Mr Chair, I will leave the final word to Blowhard drummer Fred Noonan, who described Rollo's influence by comparing him to a maypole. He said, "You have all these people with these pieces of string dancing around the maypole, and Rollo was like our maypole. He was the pole we all danced around, so he held us together. All of our strings were attached to him, and when the pole went, we were all just standing there holding a piece of string." I look forward to this naming proceeding through the usual council processes so that we can formalise this naming in the not too distant future, Mr Chair. Thank you.
You're here.
Further speakers?